Good evening and welcome to Rebelwatch. I'm your host, Cameron Hassett. Alongside me is NewsWatch sports anchor Jayson Kern and sports reporter Graeme Farrell. We have a lot of exciting things to talk about tonight. The college football season, regular season, has officially come to a close, and now we're looking ahead to those conference championships this weekend. But starting out with the Ole Miss football team, they closed out their regular season 10-2 and got a big win in the Egg Bowl. But what do y'all think about the performance in the Egg Bowl?
It was an ugly game, obviously. Ugly weather, just tough, but you know, we found a way to get it done. It's the SEC, a rivalry game. It's always going to be difficult no matter what. I think we did a great job when it came to running the ball. Quinshawn, 1,000 yards again on this season. Shout out to him, did a great job. Jackson Dart, physical. I don't know how he didn't come out after that play where he got roughed up. Dude, he looked like he was done.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
It was pretty bad. But did a great job. The defense really stepped up, and Pete Golding, you know what? Like, we kind of didn't have a performance the past couple of weeks where it really stood out where the defense, you know, was solid, but this one was one of those and did a great job.
Yeah, and the defensive side was great. Will Rogers wasn't 100%, and they talked about throughout the game how he wanted to play in this game. He's going to do whatever he can to play in this game, and he did. And I feel like that hurt Mississippi State a little bit, but we also hurt ourselves. 4 for 16 on third downs. That's like unheard of in like the Lane Kiffin era. 2 for 2 on fourth down, which is good, but we didn't go for as much on fourth down. Usually it's like 6 or 7 attempts on fourth down per game. It just showed you that we weren't rolling on offense. Dart, the season low, 96 passing yards on the season. It's not a lot to stress about. It's, again, rivalry game. Cowbells are loud, obnoxious.
Right.
That's the last thing you want to hear is you're trying to call a play and all you hear are those cowbells. So, yeah, I get it. It's annoying. It's a rivalry game. 10-point win. Covered the spread. Let's move on. The thing is now, what's going to end up happening with the season? Where is Ole Miss standing? Because right now they're 11, but there's all this hype. It's like Ole Miss, the hardest strength of schedule in the nation, and now we're 10-2. We did exactly what everyone thought we were going to do, and now it's like
Some people thought we'd do less.
Exactly. Yeah. We more than exceeded expectations, and now I can't believe I'm saying this, but now it's up to the committee to see where we're going to end up playing a bowl game. And you know that the committee...
You just never know what they're going to throw
Absolutely
at you.
not.
With this committee, I don't get it. Like, we both played LSU and Georgia. We go 1-1, they go 0-2 against both, like, those teams. I just don't get it. Like, how are we not ahead of them?
Like, I understand they played Georgia better than us.
Yeah.
They did. But we got the win over LSU,
Yeah, we have
so
the
it's
win.
a toss-up.
And they lost at home against LSU.
Yeah, very true, very true. But looking ahead to what bowl game we could end up, we're probably, most likely, it's looking like we're going to get snubbed out of a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, it's looking like Citrus Bowl versus Iowa.
But do you think it might happen, or we're thinking the Citrus Bowl for sure?
I would love to see the Cotton Bowl. Well, we got to see what happens with Louisville and like FSU, that whole thing, because if FSU doesn't make the playoff, and you know Louisville does win,
give me a blowout.
Give me a blowout, hopefully. But I think there's a chance. There's always a chance. You never know what can happen, but I think actually though the Citrus Bowl is gonna be the one that we go to.
And it's annoying. Like Missouri is also 10-2. Their big wins are against Tennessee at home. And Kansas State at home on the game-winning field goal. Those are 2 big wins, but we went on the road to Tulane. I know Michael Pratt didn't play, and I know we won pretty big, but it was a gross game to watch. But we did beat LSU, put up 55 points on LSU, and I can guarantee you almost every person that you said, oh, look at Ole Miss's schedule, I think every person had us losing at least 2 games to Bama and to Georgia on the road, when you think of college football, you think of Alabama and you think of Georgia. Those, and like comes in like other schools, but like, those are the main 2 teams. And it's like, yeah, you have to go into their house in the same season. It's not easy. And we did, I think this was an insanely successful season. And it's our second 10-win season under Lane, and it's been 4 years. So there's nothing but like positive signs for this team. And this team is nothing but, they're just so insanely deserving for a New Year's Six. They've worked their butt off all year. The over-under on the season wins was 7.5, and they're at 10. They completely killed that. And it just shows you that every time that someone thinks about Ole Miss and where they should be, we always go a step above. And that's what I feel like. It's the kind of thing, damn, if we play Iowa, we better blow them out. But then you're just like, oh, I want Missouri to lose in their bowl game. So it's going to be really interesting to see just how it ends up. And again, hope and pray that the committee sees the success that we've actually had this season.
Yeah, and looking ahead to next season, it is exciting because, we seem to get better and improve each season. But we do have a lot of returners. Jackson Dart announced he was coming back. Judkins is only going to be a junior. Is there any seniors that you think are like on the edge right now that you think will end up staying or?
Pegues, he has another year that he could take, but I'm just a little worried about him. You never know. Guys like to go to the draft. One that I always questioned was Matt. I don't know why Matt Corral went into the draft. I think he should have stayed another year. But there's just I don't know how, I think Wade is going to be back and everything, but I just like to see next year with Dart, and I'm excited for Pete Golding's first recruitment. His first recruiting class is going to be huge. I think we signed 3 or 4 of the top defensive linemen in Mississippi alone. Keeping it local. That's step one, I believe, in recruiting for always setting up your future is dominating in your state. That's what you have to do. So I'm excited about that, and I think it's going to be the start of a Heisman tour for Jackson Dart.
Now, something to worry about that I saw earlier today was Perkins on Twitter. He tweeted out ... What does that mean? I saw that and I was like, you trying to trick us? Are you going somewhere? Are you staying? You do the attention? I saw that and I got a little confused. He's a freshman in Perkins, and he didn't really have the most amazing season, but when he played, he actually had a big impact. And he would be perfect with that big defensive line coming in next year in Pete Golding's recruiting class. It'd be perfect. And like you said, Pete Golding, with what he had this year, exceeded expectations. This is the best defense we've seen in Ole Miss in a while because we've been terrible for a long. I won't say terrible, but not
the best.
Not the best.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. We think of Ole Miss, think of offense. It's always offense, and that's exactly what Pete Golding wants to do is make it. We're not just offense, but we're a whole solid group. So when it comes down to just the new players, you don't want to see anyone leave. You want to see what Lane can do in keeping these players. Again, Dart. Well, hopefully he's coming back. You never know with college. It's always a last-second thing. It's like Kyrie saying to Celtics, "Oh, I'm coming back," and poof, goodbye. So you can't really be fully sure, but let the stars align. And I have all the faith in the world in Lane Kiffin, and as long as he's here, I'm gonna be more than okay.
Yeah, it'll definitely be exciting to see how everything ends up. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about other news going on in college football.
It's that time of the year again, fellas. When the mornings are hot, the afternoons are hotter, and football is on its way back. Now, games is won by the battles fought in August. Everyone that's not revered as an Ole Miss legend has been in your shoes before, trying to survive that Mississippi heat, competing for a spot, and knowing the sacrifice that it takes to make it in this league. You go into this money collection of men from 100 different places, and if you work, you'll emerge from it as one team with one goal and one heartbeat. The SEC awaits you. And if they don't know who you are now, they will soon.
Where are we gonna go?
Someplace warm. A place where the beer flows like wine. Where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called
Oxford, Mississippi.
To see it is to believe it. You hear about it, but you just have to see the party.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grove. The sound and fury are here. Did he got a toe down?
Pageantry, the pride, the pomp is unmatched and unrivaled.
This stadium has come unhinged.
This is what college football is all about.
Oh, as he gets walloped.
No coach is having more fun than Lane Kiffin.
is the place to be in college football right now.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. Well, the college football season, regular season, has come to a close, and this past weekend was probably some of the best football we've seen with rivalry weekend. There was so many crazy endings. You know, the Iron Bowl, obviously the big Ohio State-Michigan game. What was y'all's favorite game to watch, probably?
Favorite one to watch was probably the game, the Ohio State-Michigan game. 3 straight wins for Michigan, you know, just physical Big Ten battle. You know, Michigan outrushed Ohio State, and 22-0 are the teams that have outrushed the opponent since 2001 in that game. So obviously there's just a recipe on how to win. No head coach too, Jim Harbaugh gone. Just got to say it was just costly turnovers for Ohio State. They were playing well. They were right there.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate, tough way to just basically end their season. I guess I don't see them really finding a way to get into the playoff.
No.
I mean, miracles happen. Speaking of miracles, the Milroe miracle. Are you kidding me? It's so cool to watch because it's like Auburn gets blown out by New Mexico State the week before, and Bama's killing all these teams left and right because they're Alabama. Milroe's in his groove. The team is back, and then it's like, oh no, Bama is now being humbled. But again, it's the Iron Bowl, and you never know what happens at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And it's when you watch that game, Bama was given a gift from the gods. A muff punt, perfect field position with like 3 minutes left. 1st and goal from the 5. They are rolling. And then the pass in front of the line of scrimmage, the penalties, the everything. But then 4th and 31 came. And then everyone in that stadium knew basically that there was no way that Milroe would find a guy open.
99.9%.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and it's crazy how, if you imagine you're that defender and you just see that guy get just, people are saying offensive pass interference. I didn't see anything. I think he was just, I didn't see anything.
As an Auburn fan, I could just only imagine being there, just what it would be.
If I was an Auburn fan, I'd be saying this pass interference all
Oh,
day.
of course, of course. I would be salty.
All day, and it's so funny watching the crowd view, people with their phones filming.
All
you see
the girls
videos,
crying.
The girls are crying. You see like the people like, oh, out of bounds, he's out of bounds,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. It's just so funny because it's in your own conference and on your side of the conference in the SEC West to watch just, and this is gonna sound terrible, just to watch like Auburn fans just like sit there and be like, oh, what just happened? It's like my Roman Empire. I love watching other SEC fans just miserable that their team just lost. It makes me so happy. Like, we just had a great season, and boom, the team you hate the most comes in your house and beats you in that way. It puts the biggest smile on my face. As much as I hate Alabama, it's so fun to watch.
With the kick six, it was crazy, but I don't know if there was that much like on the line. Like same with this play with 4th and 31, there was so much more on the line, I believe.
The game was about to go to overtime.
And well, also like just national championship hopes and everything. Like this kept Alabama's playoff hopes alive. So it's just crazy. But with playoff hopes, Florida, FSU took care of business. Florida had it. I feel like
they did.
They had it.
Yeah, I think they just ended up, they weren't ready for the moment.
No.
It just was mistakes, and then, I don't know. And then the Florida State backup quarterback played great, I thought.
They had athletes that came in and ended up winning that game.
Kings of kicking field goals. They didn't know how to score. They just relied on field goals all game.
It was tough, and then also Oregon State, that was a pretty good game, but Oregon's rolling. I think they might be playing the best football in the country.
And they're going to beat Washington next week.
I think they will. I think they honestly they've covered the spread.
They are.
It's going to be a blowout.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a blowout.
I have to say, I think the last game was a fluke.
Well, Washington, barely. They've been
They
fluking
barely,
it out.
they barely beat Washington State this past game.
Who are if you had to choose right now, who are your 4?
Oh, my 4 right now? I kind of agree with the committee right now. I believe it's Georgia, Michigan, Washington, FSU. I think they have it right, but they have other spots wrong, obviously. Ole Miss.
And you think it's going to stay that way after this weekend?
No, I do not. I think Oregon will get in. I do think they will win, but I don't think that they will cover. I think it will be a closer game. I think Georgia also wins this week, 4-1, even though like Saban is 4-1 against Kirby. I believe the main thing is that you're going to have to throw basically Carson Beck off for Alabama, and I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be the toughest thing for like Georgia-wise. Like this is going to be the toughest offense with Milroe running because I don't think they've faced a running quarterback like him.
It's the classic, we only beat Georgia Tech by 8 and then murder a team by 30. Exactly. Like, we barely beat Mizzou, and then it's like, here comes a bigger, better, bad team. 52-17. Don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that, but I don't think it's going to be two different football teams that show up in that SEC championship.
Georgia's never beaten Bama in the SEC championship.
They've beat them in the national championship.
They definitely have. They definitely have. And what about you? What are your thoughts going on right now?
I don't know. I think, Georgia, I think they'll end up winning, but if they do lose, that will be crazy because then it's like, is there even going to be an SEC team in the playoff? I don't know. But I think Oregon's going to wind up in it, Florida State, and then definitely Michigan. But I don't know. For some sneaky feeling, I feel like Texas might get in there.
I was just about to say
that.
I don't know. I feel like something's going to happen to where they end up in there. I don't know why.
If you're the committee, what do you do if Alabama wins against Georgia and Texas wins?
That's
the Big
what I'm
12?
saying. Like if Georgia loses, there's no reason why Texas should be in over them.
I have a question.
And I'm not, and I love the
this?
SEC and I want us to have a team, but
if Oregon has a close game with Washington and wins by a field goal, are both those teams getting in?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No, only one. Only one.
So
no, I think
you'd put Oregon in over Washington.
Yes.
I think Ohio State would
Washington
get in
would be
over
5.
Washington if they lost.
I also had a lot of confidence in Louisville beating FSU, but after Louisville just lost to Kentucky, I was like, all right, this team is not good. This team is really not good.
Yeah, the thing is with that Florida State Louisville game, it's gonna be very interesting. Obviously, with the backup quarterback, Rodemaker for FSU, but FSU is really bad at stopping the run, and the running back for Louisville, Jawar Jordan. He's a top 15 running back in the NCAA, averages 6 yards per carry, which is crazy. So maybe we could see something go on down there. Yeah, who knows?
It just stinks because if they beat Louisville by 3 or like a touchdown, they don't have any losses. You have to let them in. I know Jordan Travis is playing, but you kind of have to.
Yeah.
You got to.
And man, don't you just
And
wish?
Florida State's probably going to end up getting killed in the semifinals.
by
That's just how it's
30
going to
probably.
go.
I don't know. I've seen miracles. But you just want to see, like, man, imagine the 12-team playoff for this year. Ole Miss would be in the playoffs. You'd be.
I know. It's just a whole different world. Yeah. The Louisville loss would have put us right in there, guaranteed spot.
It'd be perfect. It would be so nice, and it's not till next year. But we got to focus on right now, and Ole Miss is in their own bowl world right now. Hopefully get a New Year's 6. But again, my prediction is it's going to be Michigan versus Washington, I think. And I also have, you guys are denying me, but I also think that if Michigan or if Oregon barely beats Washington, I feel like make it fun. Last year, the Pac-12, throw both of them in, make it interesting. I don't know. I also think that the Bama-Georgia game is going to be close, and I think that Michigan will hop Georgia, and Michigan will become the number 1.
So with that, I have a question.
I could definitely see that.
I have a question. So the game at 11 o'clock is the Texas-Oklahoma State game.
Yes.
If you're Bama and you see Texas lose before your game,
oh my God.
And what can that do to that team?
Because the Washington-Oregon game is also on Friday.
Yeah.
The big games that matter are before.
Yeah.
But Saban, it's going to be the classic, we only look at our team. We only
Saban has a dog.
They're going to be watching other scores.
No, my favorite thing is to see, after all the conference championship games and when the committee's making their Final Four picks, is Saban just, on ESPN, just the main interview, and he's just saying his case just for them
That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's the greatest coach of all time.
Very true. Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see who ends up being the 4. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Ole Miss men's and women's basketball teams.
Ole Miss 18th NCAA tournament appearance.
This is fun, folks.
As Baker's peeling it, little heat check.
Snow Collins for 3. Bring it up.
Said, I love Madison Scott.
Ole Miss Rebels are having a lot of fun, and you can see why.
My passion is journalism. Here at the University of Mississippi, we produce a nightly half-hour newscast, broadcasting regionally on cable and globally on the World Wide Web. It's the kind of experience that is preparing me to walk into any news station in the country with the skills and abilities I need to succeed. So it's not just preparing me for the real world, it is the real world.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. Well, this was a huge week for both the men's and women's basketball teams. It was obviously, they both had the ACC, SEC challenge. The men last night looked great. I have to say, I was, a little bit iffy about them in their first, couple games, but they looked really strong last night.
Yeah, against their best competition came their greatest point advantage when it came to winning. They won by 20. It was a great game. Defense
came out hot.
Defense came out hot. Jamin Brakefield with a career high 25. Alan Flanagan has been a rock for this team. Second double-double. He had 15 and 10. He did amazing for this team, and he's also third in the SEC for points per game. He's done amazing. It's awesome. I love seeing this. Chris Beard has got it going. It's like, what more can you ask for? And with our team 23rd in blocks coming into this game, we had a season high 9 blocks last night, and it's only going to get better with Musa Cisse having his papers come through today, and he's going to be joining from Oklahoma State, the reigning Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. What more can we ask? The defense is going to get better, and I'm super excited for it, but we do have a big, big matchup coming up with Memphis on Saturday. Who knows? Dude, these are our 2 biggest games, and they're on ESPN. We're showing the nation what we can do in basketball. We're not just a football school.
No, I fully expect it to be a sold-out crowd. I mean, how can you not? It's just like, also, and I was thinking about this the other week. Chris Beard, when he coaches a game, he's been very much so just going through the motions, just like coaching guys, talking to guys. Last night, he was fired up.
Oh my God, yes.
I remember Brakefield a big 3 to call timeout. He went pushing them over, was getting in their faces, going so crazy, and that's exactly what you want to see. Chris Beard is awake. He's alive and well. And it just shows that when he is getting into the game, his players are just rallying around him. And it's just fun to watch a good basketball team like this. Like you said, Flanagan has been great. Morrell got his 1,000th point last night. Good for him. That's awesome. I was saying, where has Jamin Brakefield been? Where this guy had a good season last year, but he's just been missing shots and not really playing that much.
Averaging 5 points coming into that game.
I was waiting for a game like last night, and that was perfect. He looked fantastic. Looked confident in his shot. Sometimes he would get the ball and look for a guy open. He would just take the shot, and that's what he needs to keep doing. Just keep shooting.
Oh yeah, you could tell he was feeling it.
Just keep shooting. And yeah, NC State's a really good team. They really are. They've been in the tournament the past couple of years. They have great shooters, really, really good shooters. And just to watch a game like that, it really just you can't nothing but smiling. It's just so fun because you've been like we've said, we've been waiting for a team that can actually play good ball. And yes, Cisse's back. We got the Twin Towers in Jamarian Sharp and Cisse. We lead the league. We lead in blocks. What was the stat?
23rd in blocks.
23rd in blocks. And now you add another 7-foot guy?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Intimidation factor.
Come on.
That's what Chris Beard's doing, intensity.
You see it, and it was weird. watching the warm-ups at the game last night, I saw Cisse in a jersey. I was like, oh, he's back. But I also saw Brandon Murray in uniform. And the team went to the locker room. Cisse came back out in the same attire, but Murray came back out in street clothes. So I'm like, he warmed up with the team, but is Cisse's back officially? That is official. Cisse is back, which is great. But, man, if we can get a guy like Brandon Murray to be with Flanagan, Morrell.
Huge.
I mean, this team is so deep.
Tournament time.
So deep. This team is so deep, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And we beat Memphis on Saturday. Rank us. 7-0. Rank us.
For
Rank
sure.
us.
I mean, they have to at that
Rank
point.
us. How can you not?
Before the week, we had 5 votes on the poll.
I did for the first time since 2019.
I know.
About time.
It's huge.
About time.
Yeah, and then the women have a huge matchup against Louisville coming up, and that's actually a rematch from the Sweet 16 loss in the tournament. So how are we feeling about that one?
I feel good. No Van Lift. That was like our kryptonite last year. She just took over that game and made it her own. And it's fun. Like, yeah, we lost the Sweet 16, but we made it to the Sweet 16. How many teams get to say that?
Yeah.
16. But like, it's fun to like watch good basketball. Coach Yo has the team rallying. Madison Scott, she's been fantastic the first couple of years. This year she's been kind of quiet. I expect nothing but fireworks from her against Louisville. This is finally a top 25 matchup coming to our own arena. How can you not show up? This is going to be so much fun. Madison Scott just reached her 1,000th point. Also, just like Morrell, the team, and Markeisha Davis has also been great. Those two, when they can both roll, this team is so good. And not only are we good at offense, but our defense is locked down. We just won the Battle for Atlantis championship. Yeah, we went 1-1 after losing to Oklahoma, but we won 5 straight. The team is hot, and I fully expect. I don't even think it's close. I think we beat Louisville by 20 plus tonight.
Wow!
This team. I've watched Louisville play a couple games. They're good. They're not great.
Yeah.
This team, I watched us play. We Coach Yo gets into it, and you see the players around her. It's like, man,
yeah,
it's fun to watch. It really is.
Yeah.
I fully expect.
I love it.
Yeah, and then Coach Yo was interesting in her press conference this week. She actually said that she thinks Louisville and us are twins. Like, we have the same, situation going on with our team. So, I don't know. It should be interesting. I thought that was an interesting comment from her, but definitely will make it more interesting. What do you think?
That is an interesting comment. I guess I can see it. Both teams play hard. They're great on the defensive side of the ball. Both have people like forwards that are actually really crucial, such as Madison Scott. But I think it's just going to be a dogfight. It's going to see who can win it. Let's go.
And imagine that we keep rolling in women's basketball. Men's basketball beats Memphis and is ranked, and we have a football, and both basketball teams are ranked, and probably baseball is going to be ranked also. What a time to be an Ole Miss sports fan.
Right.
What a time.
We're just well-rounded.
We're in everything school.
Yep.
We're in everything school.
Everything.
We are in everything school. We got cheer team, women's golf, rifle. Are you kidding me?
Rifle.
Volleyball.
Rifle's
We're getting
actually
there,
so
volleyball.
good.
No, rifle is
Volleyball,
very
we're getting
good.
there.
Volleyball is a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. So is soccer, but it's fun.
Soccer, first-year coach. Yeah.
Again, it's
We're good.
same with volleyball. What a time to be a Rebel fan, guys. What a time. Hop on the train while you can. If you're thinking about what school you want to take, now is the time to commit to Ole Miss.
Love that
And that's all I've
pitch.
got. That's all I've got.
Okay. Well, we really hope the Lady Rebs will pull off the win tonight, but that's all we have for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning into Rebelwatch. It's actually our last show for the semester, so we hope you tune in next semester again, and we'll be back. Thank you, and good night.